Welcome back, friends, to the second part of my video series for how to overcome procrastination. And thank you for showing such a great response and love to our first part of the video. Let's discuss some other strategies to overcome procrastination. 80/20th rule for making decisions. Sometimes we procrastinate because we think that there's so much work to do. This is a weak excuse, and it is a symptom of an inability to define what is important in your personal and professional life. There are many tasks in a day that are mandatory for you, and procrastinating them often is not plausible. You can get rid of your "I have lots of work to do" excuse by applying 80/20th rule strictly in your life. This principle was brought forward by Vilfredo Pareto, and he suggests that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Thus, all you have to do is to concentrate on that 20% of efforts that are most crucial for you to bring the 80% results. You can easily apply this rule in your habit of focusing only on those actions that generate a significant result, and you may ignore the rest. Here is the 4-step process to apply 80/20th rule on your life. First step, identify the tasks that are most important. Before you apply the 80/20th rule, it's necessary to recognize the tasks that are most important for you. Choose some of the actions that are bringing your paycheck. The simplest application of the 80/20th rule is to identify what's most important and spend more time on those actions. If you are having difficulties to find the 80% of crucial actions, then simply take a sheet of paper and write down your daily routine. Now, take the actions that are responsible for the best results of your work. Your personal life is as important as your professional life, so choose the actions that are most important in your personal life, just like the way you have done in your professional life. Now, personal life is a bit different from professional life, and you would also have to consider your loved ones before choosing your actions, because your actions should directly affect your loved ones' lives. Spending some time with your family, exercising, outing with your family, can all be considered 80% because they are directly connected to your relations with your loved ones. Second step, ask a question before doing any task. You must understand that a single day has only 24 hours, including 8 hours of your sleep. So, you have actually only 16 hours of daily routine tasks that you do. Every minute you spend on your task is one less minute of your life. So analyze before taking any task in your hands. Whenever you have any new task in your hands, then just ask yourself a simple question whether it is important for you or not. If it doesn't come in the 80% of your results list, then simply discard them. Learn a technique to say no if you think the task is not relevant to your potential. If you have a boss, then try to convince him that this task is not relevant to your expertise and experience, and he may give it to someone else. Growing a habit of saying no is very crucial for a successful life. Third step, eliminate or delegate. There are many jobs where your performance on the tasks is directly connected to your incentives or commission. So, you must take a task that should be relevant to your expertise if you are doing such kind of jobs, or eliminate the task from your list and give it to someone else. If an activity is not bringing satisfactory results, then you must get rid of it. Fourth step, practice creative procrastination. Creative procrastination is the best way to get rid of your unusual procrastination habit. So when you think that any task is not coming inside your 80% activity list, then put it to a halt until and unless you think that it's time to complete it. You can delay this action with the understanding that you should only do it if it becomes more important at some point later in life. Applying SMART approach for avoiding procrastination. SMART is the best approach for important goals in your life. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Let's discuss each attribute of SMART in brief. First is specific. Specific goals are the goals that define the purpose of completing them. You must recognize the specific goals to do. The best method to find out the specific goals is to ask a few questions like who, what, when, where, which, why. These questions decide how specific the goal is. For example, you can ask yourself, who is involved in this goal? What is your expectation with the goal? Where and when will you complete the goal? Which conditions are necessary for the goal? And finally, why is this goal important for you? Asking these simple questions can specify whether the goal is important to you or not. Here is a simple example of a specific goal. On the next week, I will deliver a powerful presentation to explain my project to the seniors. This example is free from any kind of ambiguity, and you know that this goal is important and specific, and you must prepare a presentation before next week to show it. Second is measurable. It would be most beneficial for you not to procrastinate if you measure your goals in some unit before accepting it. For example, when you say that you are going to give a speech, then it doesn't come to a measurable outcome. However, you can also say that you are going to deliver a speech of around 15 minutes. Now, this way you can really quantify and decide whether you are able to achieve the goal or not. So, try to measure your goals in some units so that you can justify what to do with them. Third is attainable. Now, when you have measured your goal, it's mandatory to make sure the goal is achievable or not. You must accept some challenging goals in your life for success, so accept the goals that are challenging but not impossible. Fourth is relevant. Every goal you choose should be relevant to what you want. It should not be forcefully pushed by your parents, spouse, or friends upon you. Remember that achieving a goal should only be possible if you take interest in it. When goals come from personal interest, then they are easier to accomplish. Finally, fifth is time-bound. Remember that you have only a limited period of time to achieve any goal, and you must time-bound a goal. For example, when you say I should give a speech, then time-bound it and say that I should give a speech of 15 minutes. This way you can really justify your goal and decide whether it is plausible for you to achieve it or not. Capture your ideas effectively. The most common excuse that we make often is feeling overwhelmed with lots of workload. It's a good approach to make a to-do list, but many times we find ourselves trapped in the stuff that we have to complete. It doesn't matter how hard we try to complete the task, sometimes the idea just doesn't strike in our mind, and we feel overwhelmed about the situation. This overwhelming feeling is often not because of uncompleted tasks, but how we process ideas and action plans. According to some psychologists, any incomplete thought will stick in your mind until you either do it or write down a plan for how you are going to do it. That is, if you are not regularly emptying the ideas from your head, then it would impact on your present tasks. So, what should we do to come out of this condition? Well, a simple solution to this problem is to create the idea capturing habit. You never know when an idea is stuck in your mind, and you must record an effective thought in some diary or through any other means. You would have realized that it happens sometimes that we are unable to get any idea when we are trying to, but it clicks in our mind when we are not emphasizing on it. So, it's important that we capture our ideas whenever they click inside our mind. Now there are many ways to capture our ideas. The first one is the old and faithful pen and paper approach. Simply carry a notebook or diary to note down your ideas whenever they click in your mind. Nowadays, there are also many apps available for your smartphone to note down your ideas whenever they click inside your mind. The best software for capturing your ideas is Evernote. Evernote is available for a variety of desktop platforms and smartphone apps where you can easily note down your ideas. What's great about this tool is that you can easily organize each piece of information for future use. Imagine the cost of procrastination. The easiest way to get rid of your procrastination habit is to identify its cost. Whenever we procrastinate, it triggers a chain reaction of incidents that are unusual and that make our life vulnerable. For example, imagine that you have procrastinated to complete the project your boss has sent you in the deadline. Now your boss becomes angry, and he asks you to do overtime to complete the work on deadline. Now, you have promised your wife to take her on vacation the next day, and you have done all the necessary formalities for it. But due to your overtime, you should have to miss the vacation and cancel all your reservations. When you go home, you have to face your wife and also face the loss due to cancellation of your tickets and other formalities. So, just because of your single procrastination habit, you have to go through so many conundrums in your life. So, whenever you think to procrastinate, then think about the consequences that should come with your procrastination. This way you can really get rid of some of your vicious procrastination habits easily. Reward yourself for not procrastinating. Our mind works in a reward system, and whenever we do some task like eating, our mind rewards us by sending some reward hormones, like dopamine, to our nervous system. You can also reward yourself whenever you refuse to procrastinate. Rewarding and punishing yourself is generally called the carrot and stick approach for accomplishing something. Theoretically, you can force yourself to complete good actions through a reward system and discourage bad actions through punishment. But punishment is not plausible in this case, since it is not an effective long-term strategy for motivation. There may be many habits that you use to procrastinate other mandatory works, like reading, surfing on Facebook, or talking to a friend. Now, you can do these tasks as a reward whenever you complete a mandatory task. Your next step is to create some large rewards for accomplishing major goals. Look at your SMART goals and make a promise to reward yourself with a large gift for accomplishing them. You can go for an outing with your family as a reward. The key here is that your reward should not affect achieving your goal. For example, suppose that you want to lose 150 pounds in the next few months. An effective reward here would be to go for hiking at a hill station, and bad reward would be to go to a fast food restaurant to eat, because it should motivate you to eat more and alter your goal achievement. Practice visualization techniques. Many times we become fed up with the situation, and it demotivates us to procrastinate. This is true when you have a burning desire to achieve something. You might really want an outcome, but the process of achieving it becomes so daunting that you finally give up and turn to procrastination. This happens to each one of us, and that's why it's important to turn a goal into a living, breathing thing. We often make goals that are very hard to accomplish, and we give up in this long process of achieving that goal. For example, imagine that you are planning to propose a girl from your college whom you like very much. Now, this goal is really a long-term goal, so I would suggest you divide this goal into smaller goals by visualization techniques. First of all, imagine that your first goal is to go near her and start the conversation. Then, your next goal is to date with her, then make a goal to get closer to her, and finally prepare a goal to propose to her. Your main goal of proposing a girl will seem much easier in this case, and you would not procrastinate the tasks that you need to accomplish this goal. Visualization can work in many ways. You could create a dream board where you cut and paste goals-related photos into a photo album. You can also read self-help books, listen to podcasts, or meditate to visualize achieving a goal. Motivate yourself through some easy ways. One of the main reasons for our procrastination habit is lack of motivation. It doesn't matter how big or small our goal is, if we are not motivated to achieve the goal, then we should definitely procrastinate. So whatever goal we want to accomplish, motivation plays a crucial role to achieve it. There is a mere difference of motivation between an achiever and a loser. Achievers usually follow through a task, even when they are not feeling up to. They have a mindset of being a consistent action taker. Developing a mindset is not easy, and you won't learn it overnight. But you can follow some simple techniques, like listening to motivational speeches and programs. You can listen to an inspiring speaker to reinforce your motivational levels. Now, there are many ways to do this. You can listen to motivational podcasts, join online or offline seminars, read some books, and many more. Increase your public accountability. Most of us are publicly accountable, which means we often feel more inspired when other people admire our work. We have a great impact on the other people's view. It doesn't matter, whatever you do, a positive feedback or statement always inspires us to achieve the goal as soon as possible. You can use public accountability for your benefit to achieve the major goals in your life. Various studies have now proven that a person is more likely to complete a task if his actions are being observed by some other people. On the other hand, we easily procrastinate the task in the future if we think that no one is observing us. Increasing your public accountability is quite easy, yet people don't try it because of the fear of losing face in front of other people. The simplest way to create public accountability is through the internet. Nowadays, there are countless websites and apps available on the internet that help people achieve their goals. Simply find a website or an app that's related to the habit you are trying to develop, and connect with the like-minded people on discussion boards, forums, chats, etc. Track your progress and success. Tracking your progress is also the best way to motivate yourself to achieve the goal. We often procrastinate due to lack of motivation. Sometimes we think that it doesn't matter how hard you try, you are not going to achieve this goal. So you must track your goals and projects to motivate yourself for achieving the next benchmark. Whenever you feel unmotivated towards achieving a goal, then track the past of your goal and see the benchmarks that you have already achieved. This way you can motivate yourself to a great way to achieve the next benchmark. Remember the example of how to propose a girl that I have shared with you in the visualization techniques of this video. Here, if you think that you are not going to succeed in proposing a girl, then track our earlier success. For example, when you went near her and started a conversation. This past benchmark should motivate you to achieve your next benchmark of getting closer to her. You should also learn from your previous experiences when you track your progress. Be patient with the process. Our patience is also one of the best weapons to give up our procrastination habit. We often feel that it doesn't matter how hard you try, you are not going to achieve this goal anyhow. This is not the best possible approach to do any task or achieve any goal, and you must keep your patience. The important thing that you must remember is that the results won't happen overnight. You need to be patient as you slowly reach your goal. You must also accept that failure is also a process to learn something new, and it's not necessary that you will get successful every time in achieving your goal. Sometimes you hit a period when there is no progress. This is the period when you need to remain patient and double down on your efforts. So, friends, this was the second part of my motivational video for how to get rid of procrastination. If you liked this video, then please like, share, and comment. If you want to get updates for more such motivational videos, then please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click the bell icon so that you don't miss any future videos.